Good morning. So welcome to the First Universalist Church of Yarmouth. My name is Dale Shields, and I serve on our Board of Trustees and the Faith in Action Council. With glitter still on my face from the Portland Pride Parade, and wearing this Black History t-shirt in preparation for a Juneteenth Freedom Holiday tomorrow. I'm very glad to be welcoming and greeting everyone this morning. A warm welcome to those here in our sanctuary, as well to our friends joining us virtually on Zoom. At First Universalist, our mission is to explore our faith, embrace this community, and engage the world as spiritual seekers. May we take these words to heart. If this is your first time in our congregation, welcome. We invite you to fill out a connection card located in front of you in your pew so that we may connect with you with programs here that interest you. You can drop this in the offering plate when it's passed later in our service. Our service this morning is multi-generational, meaning that it's a service designed for all ages. No?
Nope. Today they're going off with Mack, right? Yeah.
Okay. So they will be going off with Mack. Whoop! I know. As we did yesterday. Woo! And if you're here today with a very young child who might prefer to spend the next hour in a space with toys and games, nursery care is available throughout our service. Our nursery is located out this side door and down the hallway to the left. Before we begin our service, I have two announcements. Today is our last church service of this church year. Reverend Hillary, Gwen, Sam, and Mack will be on vacation throughout the summer, yay, and will not be holding Sunday services through the month of July, but there are still a number of activities and gatherings happening here in the warm months ahead. For details about the summer schedule, at first you check out the insert in your Sunday morning news. And due to the rainy weather, following our service today, we'll have our all-church picnic downstairs in the gathering room. Come join us for fellowship, fun, and food before we break for the summer. And now, I invite you first to exhale your breath. Exhale, exhale all the way down to your feet. And then to take a deep inhalation. And then let your breath come back to normal. As we settle into this time together, our music director, Sam Chandler, will lead us into worship.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Dale. Sorry about the typo in your welcome. That was my fault. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good to see you. The sun is supposed to come out tomorrow. Sounds good to me. I'm Reverend Hillary. Yeah, we can just, sure, I'm gonna go for it. I'm Reverend Hillary. I serve as the minister here at First U, and it is with peace and friendship that I say, whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you're from, whatever you've done or haven't done or think you might just wait till after summer to do, you are welcome here. And we're so glad you are here with us in peace and friendship this morning. Well, all right, here we are. This is it. As Dale just said, this is our last service of this memorable church year. Thank you for being a part of it. And as is the case every year on this Sunday, we gather this morning amidst a holy, meaningful, and delightful time of year. And so today, to the dear old dads in the room and those celebrating dear old dad, wishes for an open-hearted and happy Father's Day. For those honoring, uplifting, and keeping on moving forward, Alleluia, Black Lives Matter, and blessed be this Juneteenth. For those who are here, queer, fabulous, and not going anywhere, we say Happy Pride. And for those sun lovers in the room, may your solstice this week be warm and bright. Friends, today on this third Sunday of our month of delight, we offer a service on the delight and life-giving energy of awe, a service that hopefully will lead us into an awesome summer ahead. Our words of invocation this morning are by the ebullient queer ancestor James Broughton, a beat poet, filmmaker, radical fairy, and sister of perpetual indulgence. During our ingathering service last September, I used Broughton's poem, This Is It, as the invocation to commence our church year. And I've evoked the words of that poem throughout these past 10 months together. You know them, this is it is this, here we are. I've said it all the time. And so today, on our last service of this year, I offer James Broughton's sequel to This Is It number 2, as the invocation as we close our year. This is it, number 2. This is it. This is really it. This is all there is, and it's perfect as it is. There is nowhere to go but here. There is nothing here but now. There is nothing now but this. And this is it. This is really it. This is all there is, and it's perfect as it is. Good morning, my delightful friends. Here we are. This is really it. How cool is that? To honor and delight in this perfect moment, let's take a minute now to turn and greet our neighbors, ask them how they are, and wish them a good morning. And friends, will you rise in body and spirit with me as you're able and join in singing our opening hymn, number 16, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." you stay standing and join me now in the words of our unison affirmation. We are united in seeking to increase love with justice and to constitute a free church open to all people, mindful of our past and drawing upon modern knowledge. We respond to the spiritual needs of persons and are devoted to the common good in community, nation, and world. We cherish the integrity of each individual and search for truth with reason as our guide. We respect differences of opinion and strive to be a democratic community. We are concerned with this world and open to the future. You may be seated. And if there are any kiddos who would like to come up and help me light the chalice this morning, come on down.
Good morning, Hillary.
Good morning, Mac. Good morning, DB.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear it. So Mac, so DB, it's our month of delight. That's the theme this month. And I was wondering, could you both tell me something that delights you?
Well, at my new apartment, there are huge lilac bushes. And
Yes.
so when I step outside, the smell of lilacs in the morning brings me so much delight.
That's nice. That is very delightful. What about you, DB?
I've been working on my comedy,
Your comedy.
and when I make my brother laugh,
Yeah.
it's delightful.
I bet it is. I didn't know you had a brother, DB. We'll have to get him to church sometime.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. It's what I like to hear. Joanna, what delights you? Oh,
Yum!
yes, the first local fresh strawberry. There is nothing like that strawberry. Oh, delightful. Pete, does something delight you in this world? Yes. Lots of things. Buttercups. Daisies. Your your wife. Your daughters. Buttercups, daisies, and your family. Perfect. Wow, these are like something I'm noticing about these delights. Sam, do you have a delight?
Sure.
Yeah.
Long, hard day at work in the sun, followed by jumping in the cold ocean.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It's always too cold when I finally get to the ocean after those days, but I feel you there. How lucky we are in Maine to have the ocean right there. What I'm hearing in these delights is they're all doable. You know, none of you are saying the aurora borealis on the summer solstice in Iceland or something like that. It's the buttercups in your yard. It's the strawberry. It's making your brother laugh, right? What are some simple delights that you all have?
Teddy, what's your delight?
You're Ruff, your toy. Yeah, absolutely, Ruff.
Ruff is a delight.
Others? Simple delights? spring wildflowers. Yeah. Watching birds. Watching the birds. Your wife of 60 years. Mind-boggling for some of us. That's beautiful. Morning walk with your dog. Yeah, daily delights. The sunshine. Oh, just you get ready. Just you get ready. So what I'm hearing is, their delights are they're just all around us, aren't they, Mac?
Yeah, they are. I could think of so many more after people were saying them. I was like, oh, that too, and that too.
Yeah, it's almost like we could just walk around through our day and say, oh, that's delightful. That's delightful. Right, TP?
It is delightful.
And as I think, right, about just the constant presence of delight, it kind of makes me feel like everything's gonna be all right. You know? Like everything's gonna be all right? Everything's gonna be all right? Like, everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Come on. Everything's gonna be all right.
Everything.
Everything's gonna be all right. 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 Everything's gonna be all right.
I think so.
I hope so. Let's say our children's blessing, shall we?
All right. We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts,
and helping hands.
Come join me and DB downstairs for our last children's chapel.
All right, let's sing them on their way, shall we? There's this delightful line in Quakerism, which, Quaker meetings you're generally silent during, but Quaker meetings are often multi-generational, that the sound of children is the sound of God laughing. I just love that. I always think about that when they're headed downstairs. And speaking of Quakers, we now come to the time in our service that we set aside for quiet prayer and meditation. This can be a time to reflect on the events of the past week, look forward to what might come in the hours, days, and summer ahead, offer a prayer of loving kindness to someone in need of loving kindness, or simply be here now, in this moment, and all it offers in sensations and emotions. Following our time of quiet, I'll ring a chime, and all will be welcome to come forward and light a candle for a joy, sorrow, or concern you have today. And so will you join me in a moment of prayer? Spirit of life, love in the world, life in the world, love in this room, and life in this room. We pause now and give thanks for all of this. We give thanks for friends and family, those with us and far away, those who have died but whose life force remains, and those who we know only as ancestors but still are with us always. May all here be kept safe and joyful through this day and into the days ahead as we travel near and far this summer. Spirit, love, life, we pray that you remain unconditionally present in our bodies, hearts, and minds. When we feel love, experience wonder, remind us to pause and remember that in this life we are called to pay attention, to love, and to care. Spirit, hold us closely and gently through this sacred day and the days ahead. Ready us to carry forth the radical and sacred love we have gathered here week after week to witness and celebrate. Spirit, love, life, be with us now. Be with everyone now and always. Amen.
Our UU values call us to honor the inherent worth and dignity of all, and to end oppression in all of its forms. With this in mind, our half plate this Sunday is in support of immigrant-led organizations, ILOs, who are leading the asylum seeker response in Maine, working on the front lines with the individuals and families currently being housed at the Portland Expo, in municipal shelters, in local hotels, and those arriving in Sanford, Brunswick, and other cities statewide. Maine Initiative's ILO Fund will be shared among those organizations who are working directly with the immigrants to Maine. For those in the sanctuary this morning, we'll be passing the offering plate to one another. For those gathered with us online, you're invited to make your offering using the donate button in the order of worship or by dropping a check in the mail. Thank you.
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the night? People so busy, makes me feel dizzy, taxi lights shine so bright. But I don't need no friends, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window. Chilly, chilly is the evening time. Waterloo sunset's fine. Terry meets Julie, Waterloo Station, every Friday night. But I am so lazy, don't want to wander, I stay at home at night. But I don't feel afraid, as long as I gaze at Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. people swarming like flies round Waterloo Underground. But Terry and Julie cross over the river where they feel safe and sound. And they don't need no friends as long as they gaze at Waterloo sunset. They are in paradise. Waterloo sunset's fine. Waterloo sunset's fine.
Thanks, Sam. Will you rise and join us in our song of thanksgiving? The short lyrics are in your order of service.
The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? The grasshopper, I mean the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who's moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Have any of you ever seen what's come to be known as the double rainbow video on YouTube? It was wildly popular a few years ago, and it is positively delightful. Essentially, it's a home video that a guy named Paul Vasquez, who goes by the name Bear, took in his backyard one day when he discovered a double rainbow in the sky. But friends, it is so much more than that. This double rainbow video is a 3.5-minute recorded emotional narration from a man in the midst of a mystical experience, a moment of transcendence, of ecstatic delight. Bear, who sadly passed away from COVID in 2020, lived high in the Sierra Nevadas, just a few miles away from Yosemite. We don't ever see him in the video, just the landscape that surrounds his home. And the video begins amidst a grove of what look to be ponderosa pines, with Bear noticing up in the sky a glimpse of what appears to be a double rainbow arching over the nearby mountain range. Whoa, double rainbow, he says again and again.
Whoa, double rainbow all the way. Full double rainbow all the way across the whole sky. Whoa. And I will share that Bear, in interviews that followed, said with full honesty that he was sober during this video. Slowly, we walk with Bear through the trees to a lookout point where we get a full view of what must surely have been a spectacular sight in person, a full double rainbow across the mountain range, with the end landing not far ahead from where Bear looks on. Already pretty excited, Bear responds appropriately to this awesome scene. Whoa! Oh my God! Yeah! He screams out into the expanse ahead. Look at that double rainbow all the way! Oh my God! The ecstatic whooping goes on for about a minute, and then Bear gets quieter. There's a sound of his wind chimes tinkling in the background, his dog woofing. And then you listen as Bear begins to cry. Sob, really. Sniffling his nose, taking deep gasps of air. It's so bright, it's so vivid, it's so beautiful, he says. It's too much. I don't know what it means. A double, complete rainbow in my front yard. What does this mean? And then he calms down, gets quiet again. We hear his breathing as we look out at the double rainbow across the whole sky, and the video ends. The awe and wonder, two different experiences that we'll discuss today. The waves of awe and wonder that Bear experiences in this video will make you smile, laugh, and weep. At least that's what it makes me do every single time I watch it. And I am one of upwards of 50 million people who has done so over the years. So friends, do yourself a favor on this precious day of your precious life. Whenever that compulsion next hits to doom scroll or rabbit hole down the internet, and it will hit, we all know it will, I ask you as your minister to instead type double rainbow video into your browser. Just relax, watch, delight, and then get off the internet and go outside. Dacher Keltner, a professor of psychology at UC Berkeley, has dedicated much of his life to studying how humans express emotions and how emotions shape our identities and moral values. Along the way, he's been guided by the age-old existential question, how do we live a good life? And recently, he discovered an answer. Find awe. How can we live a good life? Keltner asks rhetorically in his newish book, Awe, the Science of Everyday Wonder. How can we live a life enlivened by joy and community and meaning that brings us a sense of worth and belonging and strengthens the people and natural environments around us? Find awe, he writes. And I will add that in his book, Find Awe is printed in all capital letters. Find awe. What is awe? Well, our late friend Bear pretty much encapsulated it. Awe is the emotion we experience when we encounter vast mysteries we don't understand.
For the past 20 years, Dr. Keltner and a team of neuroscientists and psychologists has examined the experience of awe, how it affects our brains and bodies, how it transforms the way we think and we act. And in the midst of studying things like goosebumps and tears and chills, Keltner and his team contacted thousands of people with varying backgrounds, cultures, and languages from 26 countries around the entire world and invited them to respond to this question. What is an experience of awe that you have had when you encountered a vast mystery that transcended your understanding of the world? A few months ago, I posted this prompt on social media with a photo Alexis took of me at the summit of Mount Lafayette, one of the really big mountains in New Hampshire, as I was having a bit of a bear experience myself. And I was curious to hear the awe stories of those I know and love. And folks, you did not let me down. Your awe stories encompassed sunrises and sunsets, ancient ruins and caves, dreaming dogs, sprouting acorns, full rainbows, newborn children born to your children, groves of lady slippers in full bloom, flowering trees growing up from the pavement, views from airplane windows, and one of my favorites, the immense drive of 13 and 14-year-olds to run toward basketballs, soccer balls, and foursquare balls lying dormant on the ground and kick them as far as possible. From the 2,600 awe stories Dr. Keltner and his researchers collected, they quickly noticed some common themes. And from these commonalities, they created a list of what they call the 8 wonders of life. Or in other words, the top 8 things that inspire awe and wonder in us. And wait, what's the difference between awe and wonder, you ask? Well, awe is the emotion we experience when we encounter vast mysteries we don't understand. And wonder is the mental state of openness, questioning, curiosity, and embracing mystery that arises from our experiences of awe. So in a nutshell, wonder is Unitarian Universalism. And simply put, the experience of wonder follows the experience of awe. Looking back to our friend Bear, awe is the moment of, whoa, oh my God, double rainbow. And wonder is the, it's so beautiful, double rainbow in my backyard. What does it mean? Wonder is why we must find awe in order to live a good life. While awe often renders us somewhat incapacitated in wordless sensory states beyond our control, Keltner explains awe as a destabilizing emotion. Wonder, on the other hand, can delight us, enliven us. Wonder calls us to look closer, look again, learn, imagine, open up, and keep on pursuing our free and responsible search for meaning in the world. So, what wonders do you think comprise the top 8 wonders of life? What things most commonly lead people around the world to feel awe? What do you think? Sunset, birth, sunset, nature. Say again? Storm. Say again? Mountains, hearing a lot of nature, a lot of, theme of nature, a lot of stars, sky, expansive views, art and music, for sure. Discovery. Yeah, you guys are, you know. All right, I'll give you the countdown. Coming in at number 8 on the top 8 wonders of life, epiphanies, discovery. learning something new, that click of sudden understanding, seeing things a new way. Number 7, cycle of birth and death. Number 6, spiritual and religious experiences. Number 5, visual design, art, architecture, machinery. Number 4, music of any kind. Number 3, nature, natural landscapes, weather, animal, plants. And here at number 3, I'm actually reminded of our flower communion service a couple weeks ago. And at the end, I was standing in the doorway listening to the choir sing the benediction with our friend Ruth here. She was an usher that day. And as I stood there with her, she held up her flower to me and quietly said, "Look at this flower. Just look at it. Isn't it amazing?" And it was. It was. A beautiful flower right there in your hand, Ruth. What does it mean? All right, number 2 on the top 8 wonders of life. Number 2, something called collective effervescence. Zzz. The energy of feeling a part of something. When the crowds lining the Pride Parade all start cheering and waving an ocean of rainbow flags all at once, collective effervescence. When the 82,000 Swifties packed into the MetLife Stadium all start singing Shake It Off with Taylor all at once, collective effervescence. When a handful of us on Zoom close our Wednesday Vespers by offering each person there a quiet prayer of loving kindness all at once, collective effervescence. And number 1, moral beauty. Other people's kindness, strength, courage, and overcoming. So again, the 8 wonders of life, epiphanies, the cycle of birth and death, spiritual and religious experience, visual design, music, nature, collective effervescence, and moral beauty. 3 thoughts I had when I first read this list. First thought, best thought, what a great list of monthly themes for a church year. Second thought, how strange that spiritual and religious experience comes in here at number 6. Because in my experience, all of these wonders fall into the spirituality and religion bucket. And my third thought, nature isn't number 1. Moral beauty, humans being good to each other is. Though my heart certainly leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky, I think I might have to agree with this arrangement of wonders. Because I don't know about you, but I certainly feel awe when witness to moral beauty. Great awe, transformative awe. That's why I'm a minister. So I can be with people, work with people, laugh and cry with people, march in parades, make slime, drink coffee, and look at flowers with people who are trying to live morally beautiful lives. Lives of courage, strength, overcoming, and kindness. People like you. As I said, it's all in the religious bucket for me. Before reading Keltner's book this spring, I didn't know that awe and wonder were 2 different things. I thought wonder was sort of like a lesser form of awe. You know, like we feel awe when we stand at the foot of the pyramids, and we feel wonder when we see that cunning chipmunk asleep in the bird feeder again. But having learned that awe is, as Keltner puts it, a reset button or a destabilizing force in our lives, and wonder is the open, curious, and present-minded experience that follows, I am inspired, awe-inspired by the power of doing, for lack of a better word, good in this world. Not only do acts of kindness, of moral beauty help other people, help relieve the suffering of beings, these actions open up and make flexible the minds of people who witness them. Love is an action in so many ways. Like some of you here, our beloved Gwen, who's away this weekend, also responded to my post inviting some awe stories. And she wrote, "Some of my moments of awe are like these precious little gifts wrapped up and hidden inside ordinary days. Mountains, oceans, and galaxies are astoundingly awesome, but I think the experiences of awe that have shifted me the most have always been smaller, vast in a different sense." She's so awesome. And here, whether she knew it or not, Gwen speaks to a practice that Dacher Keltner calls us to incorporate in our daily lives, something he calls an awe walk. An awe walk is essentially a wander in which you have no destination, or maybe you do, but along the way, you simply make a point to notice the features of the things around you. You can focus way in on the flowers and leaves and little details of things along the way, or focus way out at the sky, the trees, the buildings, the big expansive stuff around. During your walk, try to approach everything you see with fresh eyes, Keltner writes. Tap into your childlike sense of wonder. What he's found through these walks and what he's gone on to prove in control studies with people of all ages, especially people over the age of 75, is that finding awe leads to finding more awe and more awe and more awe. And of course it does, right? Experiencing awe leads to wonder, which is a state of openness, of curiosity, excitement about discovering new things, which leads to more experiences of awe, which leads to more wonder, which leads to more awe, which leads to more wonder, which leads to more awe, which leads to more wonder, and so on, and so on. Friends, we now come to summer. Summer in Maine. Vacation land, they call it. The mosquitoes and seagulls call it that too. It's a pretty awesome season and a pretty lovely time, generally speaking, to take a walk and see what we see. It's also a time when lots of people are out and about and wonderful opportunities for moral beauty abound. So, in the months ahead, I encourage you to strengthen your wonder, a life-giving and a life-saving way of being. Strengthen your wonder by finding awe. And that is finding awe in all capital letters. And I pray that one day soon, when you head out for an awe walk, that you discover a double rainbow in your backyard, and that you let yourself transcend into a hooting, hollering state of transformative delight. Have an awesome and wonderful summer, my awesome, wonderful friends. This is it. This is really it.
your one wild and precious life, perfect as it is. Blessed be this life. Everything's gonna be all right. And amen. We close with hymn 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky, and we will be singing verses 1, 2, and 5.
Please rise with body or spirit. All creatures of the earth and sky, come, kindred, lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia. Sun shining through the swift rushing winds of summer song, bright clouds all you of understanding heart,
You may be seated. Friends, thank you all so much for this wonderful year. Thanks especially to our tech crew, Joanna, Jennifer, Charlie, and Pete. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thanks to Mack, to Gwen, and to Sam, who has also led all of these services. And thank you all. Thank you all so much. In a moment, our service will close. All are invited to join us downstairs for fellowship. And our choir will be singing us all out. So choir will follow me as I process out and greet you as you leave this friendly place. Hey. No problem. No problem. Friends, will you join me in a closing time of prayer? May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings experience profound joy and the causes of profound joy. May all beings be witness to moral beauty, and may all beings practice moral beauty so that we may all be free. And will you join me in the words of our unison benediction? For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. And for those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step. Go in peace, my friends.